Hello everybody, I'm Dr. John Artis again. Today we're going to talk about what's killing our hearts. It's a very serious thing in America with the tragedies. Heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death in the United States, and it's scheduled to kill 1 out of every 2 people will die of heart disease. And the sad fact about that is most people don't find out they got heart disease until they have a heart attack. And if they do have a heart attack, or if they don't, and they go to the doctor and they see that their arteries are clogged up, then I call it where you have to go see a plumber. And nobody wants to go see a cardiologist to actually take an artery out of the leg and put it in the heart so that the heart can work better. So when we talk about how the heart works, the heart is a muscle. It's about the size of your fist, and it sits slightly to the left side of your chest. And the heart is divided into a right and a left side. And that right and left side has an atrium and a ventricle. And then you have different valves that open in that right and left ventricle. They're actually called the tricuspid, the pulmonary, the aorta, and the mitral valve. And what those valves do is they open, and so blood can flow through those hearts, through those chambers of the heart, and go to the rest of the body. Now, what happens with the heart is there's 3 main things that I want to talk about today that contribute to heart disease. The #1 thing that's affecting majority of us in the United States is obesity. Obesity is killing more people due to the side effects of obesity that cause heart disease than a lot of things out there. And that's because we're eating way too much sugar, we're eating way too much fats, and we're eating way too much bad things that are clogging up our arteries and killing our heart. And the other thing besides obesity is we got to look at is hypertension. Hypertension is what they call the silent killer. Most people, their blood pressure regulates normally right around 120/80. And then what happens if your blood pressure goes up is actually a normal thing. But what happens if your blood pressure goes up and it doesn't come back down, that's a very bad thing. And that's what we got to understand is that walking around with your blood pressure at a high rate for a long period of time will destroy your kidneys, it will destroy your blood vessels, and ultimately it will lead to heart disease. Now, the other thing that happens with that too, the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States, which is a very, very serious thing, it affects my family dramatically, and that's diabetes. Diabetes, by the year 2015, 1 out of every 3 people will develop type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is the one that you're not born with, that you acquire just simply by eating the bad things in life. And that's something that we can't continue to do. What diabetes does is it makes your blood really thick like oil. And so now your heart has to work twice as hard to actually push this blood through the rest of your body. Now, if your heart is working twice as hard to push this blood through the rest of the body, guess what you're doing to that muscle? You're overworking that muscle, so that heart tries to expand. Those are just some of the things that happen with diabetes. Now, the problem with diabetics is the little blood vessels at the end of all our extremities, in our toes, our hands, and our eyes, they get damaged severely because that blood is trying to go and in those capillaries, and it expands to where we exchange oxygen, and it comes back into the venous part of the body, and it gets stuck in there. And that's what happens with a lot of people when they have to get their toes cut off, the limb amputations. Those things are very serious. They're opening up dialysis centers all the way around because people's kidneys are being shut down for hypertension and diabetes because there's so much strain on the kidneys. And you don't want to have to go sit and hook up to a machine for 3 to 4 hours every 2-3 days just to do what your body was designed to do. So what I'm here to tell you today is let's take a proactive step in doing the right things that we can do. And what we can do is we can adopt a chiropractic lifestyle. Chiropractic lifestyle consists of 3 things. #1, you got to eat well. That means you got to put the right things in your body. If you got to read it on a label, if it doesn't die or develop mold, it's bad for you. So you got to eat well. You got to put real things in your body. You got to stay away from all these fried foods, all these bad foods that are killing us. The second thing that we got to do is we got to think well. We got to think differently. So we can't always associate good times around large plates of food. It's going to kill us. We're killing us with our fork slowly. And then the third thing that we got to do is we have to move well. The human body was designed to move. We were not designed to be sedentary, to not get sunlight, not to get these things. That is the chiropractic lifestyle. And moving well means moving well on an intersegmental level. You got vertebrae that actually move back and forth just like this. And when they move, they actually keep pressure off your spinal column. What happens if one gets stuck and it doesn't move like it's supposed to be? That's what we as chiropractors call a subluxation. And so when we adopt that chiropractic lifestyle, we're not only talking about getting out and running, but we're also talking about that spine moving well. So the 3 solutions in the chiropractic lifestyle is to eat well, think well, and move well. You can learn more about that at drjohnartist.com. Thank you.